Hi, I'm Michelle Shaw, and this is a quick review of some of the keys to be able to answer behavioral interview questions successfully using the STAR method. So, this is a page that I've taken from your textbook, Upskill Soft Skills and Professional Development Essentials. This page is really helpful because it summarizes the really key things that you need to focus on. One is making sure you understand who you are and what you bring to the table. So you're going to be looking at your strengths, responsibilities you've had in the past, experiences that you've had, successes, lessons learned, all of that, your values, everything that's relevant, education, knowledge, special talents, all of that. And you need to know the stories that will showcase that you actually have these because you're not going to be able to give a list of them. You're going to need to bring forth a story that will highlight this and rather than having to list that. The second thing is to be clear on the goal and the role. What is the goal of the interview and what is the role all about? The best place to look for something like this is the job description. Go to the job description, make sure you're clear on what competences they're looking for, what skills. What skills are they looking for? And you're going to be comparing that to the skills you have. What roles and responsibilities, comparing that to what you're capable of. So that's going to be very, very important. Thinking about all of the things that you can do and the competences that you have, which of those are asked for in this role compare all of that to what you have. And then the third one is the methods. And this is using the STAR method to get clear, to get precise, to bring clarity to your story and to follow these steps because the interviewer knows the STAR method. The interviewer is expecting you to address these key points. So the STAR method is not just a template, it really is asking specific questions about a story that the interviewer wants to know. Like, please explain to me the context of the story. Please explain to me what was necessary to be done. Please explain to me what you actually did. And please explain to me what was the result. And then answer the most important question. So what? Now that you've told me this question, why is this relevant for this particular role, for this particular goal? When you're answering these questions, remember you have some skills, and the position is also going to tell you the skills that they desire. You have many skills that are not necessarily going to be relevant for this position. All of these skills here. This is going to ask for a lot of skills that you may not necessarily have. You want to be focusing right here, the intersection of the skills you have and those that they're seeking. That's where you're going to focus your stories. The stories that highlight skills you have and skills they desire. That's how you're going to focus it in your responses, in your cover letter. It needs to show up in your resume. It needs to show up in any conversation you're having. This is what is critical. Finally, let's take a look at the method, the STAR method. This method maybe you may have seen it already with SAR or CAR or STAR or whatever. I have structured it as a star squared. And the R squared is a big R and a little r. And that's what we're going to look at. So when you are looking at the situation is the foundation. It provides the context. If the situation is not properly laid out, the rest of your story is going to fall apart. You need to actually spend time on this situation. Okay, so the situation, what should you really try to achieve with the situation? The situation needs to showcase tension. It needs to highlight a problem, a gap, some innovative thing that was missing, some pain that they were having. This needs to show a problem because the goal is then to say, here's a problem that they were having when you talk about the situation. This is a problem they were having. This was the gap in the services or the product. This is how it wasn't used efficiently. This is what was missing. This is what was obvious that could have been connected and wasn't connected. This is how people weren't responding when they could have, whatever it is. You need to show tension here. You need to show that there was a problem. If your story doesn't have a problem, go find another story. That story is not going to be helpful, because what you're doing as you walk through the STAR method is say, this is the problem. The T says, this is what would have to be done to solve the problem. This is the real overarching goal here that needs to be done. And then the actions are going to say, this is what I did. I did this, this, and this. This exceeded even what was asked of. I initiated this. I developed this. I identified this. I planned this. I actioned this. And the things that you did, that's you coming in as the hero in the story, solving the problem. Coming in, recognizing there's a gap, creating something. Recognizing things are not being efficient, delivering a more efficient process. Recognizing people aren't getting along, building out conflict resolution systems. You are coming in here as the hero with the actions that solve the problems that you identified up here. So if there is no problem up here, your actions are not going to have the weight that they should have. Once you talk about the problem, the overarching goal, once you identify the problem, the task that has to be dealt with, and then now you're going to talk about what you did. This is past tense. I actually did these things. Then you go and talk about the results. If it was something successful, talk about the results. Customers are happy. You got a promotion. You got recognition. Increases in efficiency. Reductions in cost. Happy customers, whatever it is that the results are, better relationships, expansion of products, line, or services. Then, if it didn't work well, talk about what you learned. You tried this, you went in, you did this. What I learned was I need to collaborate more before I action. I need to listen to the customers more before I implement solutions. What is it that you learned? Because now we're going to go to the most important piece. So what? Why are you telling me all of this story? Why are you telling me all that you did? Why is this relevant to the particular role that you're applying for? And then this is where you need to pause and say, okay, what this tells you, this whole story that I've just told you here, with all these results, the first R, the little r is going to say, what this tells you is that I'm able to identify gaps. I'm able to, what do you want to say? I'm able to identify gaps. I'm able to figure out challenges. I'm able to innovate, create, collaborate, whatever it is. And that I'm willing to, I'm forward thinking, I'm strategic, I'm innovative, creative, whatever it is. I'm collaborative. And then I'm willing to do the work. I'll put in the extra time. I will work with other teams. I'll build relationships. I'll navigate challenges. I'll go beyond the call of duty, whatever it is here, in order to get these results or in order to learn these lessons. I'll take the risks. And so what that tells you is that when I come into this role, I'll be able to transfer these skills to this new role, which requires perhaps resilience, perhaps adaptability, perhaps innovation. It requires those things. This story tells you that I've been there, done that I understand this. I understand that I have executed in a similar situation. That way you can trust me to bring that skill and to execute here should we ever have the need to. That's the essence of the STAR method. The ability to walk through your own story, to showcase the problem you solve, the gap, to showcase that there's tension, there's stress, there's trauma, there's pressure, and you come in, identify the goal, and take the actions to save the day, producing a positive result or producing positive learning experiences. And those lessons, that skill that you demonstrated in the story, you can now transfer it to the new environment very confidently because you know it. You've executed on this in a previous role. All right. I hope that helps you with framing your star stories. Again, I'm Michelle, and I'm really grateful to be able to work with you. Take it, go make it your own. Look at sample questions, practice doing your star method.